Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, screen issue. That was how it played out last Saturday. So I'm happy that it's actually working now. Um, so today we'll be talking about JavaScript. Today we'll be talking about JavaScript. Please, if at any point you still can't see my screen, please type in the general group. Let me know. Please, thank you so much. Okay, JavaScript is the scripting language. JavaScript is a scripting language. Now, let me explain. When you build a house, and building a house involves a lot of processes, right? You build the structure of the house, which is the foundation, and then you draw out the house, and then you call an architect and a structural engineer, and they go on to build the house. When they are done with mapping out the house and bringing out the house from foundation to the roof and all of that, you have successfully brought out the structure of the house. Now, you now go on to actually make the house more presentable by doing what? Painting the house, plastering the house, and painting the house. Now, when you're done, you start adding what we call interior decoration, doing some wirings and all of that. You even go as far as making sure the house is wired up. There would be lights, electricity, so on and so forth. Now, you can be able to in your house, everybody's house. I believe we all stay in homes where you can use a switch to put on a bulb and put the switch off, on and off. We can also charge our phones. I believe we all charge our devices today. I believe we all did today. The process of plugging in your charger and then plugging your phone to the power supply, you put on the switch and your phone gets charged up. So all of these and many more is what JavaScript can do, is what JavaScript represents. JavaScript is that scripting language. It adds functionality to our web pages. I believe we all did the assignment. Looking at your assignment, there is no life. That web page you submitted, there's no life. It's just there. It has a structure, but there's no life. There's no feel to it. JavaScript is that scripting language that adds function. It's that language that gives life to your web page. When I mean give life, I don't mean a normal human being breathing. I'm just trying to relate it to what you can understand. So JavaScript is that scripting language that gives life to our web pages, that brings about different functionalities. Now, you can go on websites, and then when you click a button takes you to perform a particular activity, or the button does this and all of that. That is JavaScript at work. JavaScript does a whole lot of things and brings about a whole lot of activities on our web pages. So welcome to the world of JavaScript. Now, you'll be able to do, what would you achieve with this? With JavaScript, you'll be able to add many use cases to your website. You'll be able to add many use cases to your website. When I mean use cases, you'll be able to add different activities, different functions. When you come on your website, people can do a lot of things that is functional, that are functional. That's what JavaScript can do. That's what the power of JavaScript can do to your website. So it's going to be a long ride, and it's going to be fun. Now, please, for those just joining, not all of you have been marked for the previous assignment. I will be done with that today. But 85% of you have actually been marked. Many of you scored a 10 over 10, which I congratulate you on that. So please, if you check your dashboard and you've not been scored, don't panic. Please don't panic. It's it's just you've not been scored. So take a chill pill. Now, let's go further. What is JavaScript? I've given a background knowledge of what JavaScript is all about. Let's define JavaScript. JavaScript is a high-level interpreted scripting language. Remember I told you guys HTML is a markup language. It's a markup language. JavaScript is a high-level interpretation language. JavaScript is a high-level interpretation language. It powers interactive web pages. JavaScript powers interactive web pages. JavaScript runs in the browser and on servers using Node.js. JavaScript runs in the browser and on servers using Node.js. It is a high-level interpretation language. It powers interactive web pages. It runs in the browser and on servers, and it uses Node.js to run on servers. Yes. Let me show us an example of what I mean, of what the power of JavaScript can do. Take a look at this website. This is a website, and the name of this website is rovingheight.com.ng. Now, looking at this website, you can see a lot of books being displayed. You can see a lot of things going on. Now, if you check our cart currently, our cart is empty. It says here no products in the cart. No products in the cart. Now, with the power of JavaScript, we can add products inside of this cart. Now, what's a cart? A cart is like a shopping basket or a trolley. I know most of us have visited malls and supermarkets and shops. The basket you use in whatever you need to buy and then checking it out is called a cart or a trolley or a basket or whatever. So it's like what you put in whatever you want to purchase temporarily before checking them out or buying them and all of that temporarily. So there's nothing currently, there's no book currently in this cart. The cart is currently empty. Now, with the power of JavaScript, now I can come here, look at this book, the formula, let me add one of these books to the cart. So I'll click on add to cart. I'll click the button called add to cart. So currently, it has added one of the books to the cart, which says the 5 laws. The book name is The 5 Laws Behind Why People Succeed. Now, I can also look at this cart and then empty. I can say I don't need this book again. Let me select another book. I want to remove the book. So I'll come here and click on this icon and it removes it. Our cart is currently empty. I can go again and say, oh, I love this book. I beg, let me add this particular book. I'll click on it. Add to cart. Now I have added another book again to the cart. I can also add additional book again to the cart, making it 2 books. Look at it, 2 books, at the cost of 25,000 naira. And I can click on checkout, and then I would be taken to a screen where I can check out all I have paid for. Now let's go back to. So that is what JavaScript can do. It powers up web pages. It gives interactivity to web pages. It gives reach. to have functionalities in your web page. That's what JavaScript can do. Just to move on, please, Ms. Tari, please, can you please confirm you can still see my screen clearly?
Yes, I can still see your screen.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, the next thing is, why is JavaScript vital in front end? Why are we now learning it? What is the use of it? Can't we just continue with HTML and CSS? Yes, we can continue with HTML and CSS, but our house will not be functional. We are trying to build a house. If you go to a house and the house just have blocks, you know, it's a tall building and it's painted, looking beautiful. But you enter the house at night, the house is dark. There's no lights, you know. You can't, if light comes in that environment, if maybe power is restored in that environment, that particular house does not have electricity. Would it make sense? No, the house is of no use then. You can't own a generator powering system and then the house have power. It's of no use. So JavaScript is actually vital and important to actually add functionalities, to actually add lights to our website. That is actually the aim of JavaScript. We are not just learning it for learning purpose, and then we are learning it because we want to be able to add functionality. We want to be able to give life to our web pages. Yes. Now, number one reason why JavaScript is vital to our front end is because it is used to manipulate the DOM. The DOM is called Document Object Model. You would learn all of that. So it is used to manipulate the DOM. The DOM is a branch in your browser that actually aids functionality. It's a document object model. We'll learn all of that, but this is me just giving you an idea of what the DOM is. Secondly, event handling, clicks, forms, and key press. So if you watch well, let's go back to that website. Event handling, let's go back. Event handling. So if I click on this add to cart for this book, okay, look at this book, David Bedell, The God Desired. So if I click on it, if I click on the button that says add to cart, you can see that it has added to cart. That's what one of the things we call event handling. It listens for clicks. You're able to actually click on this and then it adds the book to cart. Event handling. All of these and many more is what JavaScript can do. So get ready for the journey ahead. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hectic at some point, and it's going to demand you to read more. Now, dynamic content updates, which is Ajax. Dynamic content updates. Have you ever observed how most websites and applications load? That's okay. For instance, let me give you guys an example. On your Facebook application, on your user profile, if you want to change your profile picture, let me not even go far. Your Telegram and WhatsApp, you can easily change your WhatsApp picture, right? You click on it and add another picture. It changes the one there. It changes the one there, just like that. Dynamic. You can change it countless number of times, and then your profile picture will change. That's what JavaScript can do. That's what JavaScript can do. Animation and interactivity. Now, someone might ask, is CSS not what is responsible for animation? What is JavaScript responsible for animation for? So you can use JavaScript for animations, for cool animations. You can use CSS for cool animations. The two can actually go. That's the beauty about it. Now, we are done with introducing what JavaScript is. We are done with understanding why we need it in this journey. The next thing we need to know is the terminologies, the activities, the terms in JavaScript. And the first one we'll be learning is called a variable. A variable. Now, what are variable? In fact, what is a variable? Before we go on into what variables do or what they are, let's understand what a variable is. Now, I think I made a error. I was supposed to put the definition of variable. I will do that in the group. Yeah, so I omitted that. Sorry about that. I would actually have to use my mouse to actually define what a variable is. For those screenshotting the screens so that they can read up later, I'll do the justice of putting the definitions on the group. Now, a variable is actually like a container where you store data. A variable is like a container where you store data. And now let me explain. If you go to okay, what's real example can I use? Okay, for instance, let me use a very complex example. If you go to our secondary schools in Nigeria today, if you go to our secondary schools, you see that every student is classified inside of a class. So, for instance, your child might be in JSS1, JSS2, JSS3, or SS1, SS2, SS3. What they have successfully done is put each person in a class they are supposed to be. Now, the variable at this particular point is the classroom. The variable is that SS1 you know, the JSS2, JSS3. It's called a variable. Your child inside that class is called the data. I don't know if anyone is understanding. A variable is actually a container. I don't want to use a term that sounds too ambiguous and confusing. That's why I try as much as possible to make you understand, because it's complex already. So I wouldn't want to make it more complex. A variable is a container where you store data as simple as ABC. Let's say as a child, you have a toy room where your parents have different type of toys, you know. A variable is actually the toy room itself. When you enter inside the toy room, you see a lot of toys. That's what a variable is. As simple as that. So a variable is actually a place, it's a house. It's just try to imagine it in your brain. You have a child who is schooling, who is in school. That child is in JSS1. The variable question in this scenario is actually the JSS1. Your child is the data that is inside of that class JSS1. So if I go to my child's school and I'm looking for my child, I already know that I need to go to JSS1 to find my child inside of that class. As simple as that. So I believe we now have a mental picture of what a variable is. Now let's go forth. Now we have types of variable, types of naming a variable, rather. We have types of creating a variable or naming a variable or whatever you choose to understand with it. There are three ways to create a variable. We have the var keyword, we have the let keyword, and we have the const keyword. I will explain all of them before I go on to actually give us an example. We have the var keyword, we have the const keyword. Now, the var keyword is old and its function scoped. With time, you would understand. There are some words I have used so far that is still, most persons are still trying to comprehend. Don't be scared. With time, you get to understand. The var keyword is an old and function scoped keyword used in creating a variable. Yes. The second one is called let. Let is a modernized way of creating a variable, and it is block scoped. The third one is const keyword. The const keyword cannot be reassigned. Once you use it to create a variable, you cannot go back. Sorry, you cannot change the data inside of it again. Once you give it a data, once you are inside of it, that data has been stored permanently. You cannot change it during the course of whatever. But let is dynamic, let is flexible. You can change let anytime. It is the modernized way of creating and storing data inside of variable. Let's go forth. So let me digress a bit and show us what a variable looks like practically. Mr. Ray, please, can you still see my screen? Please confirm.
Yes, I can
Yes,
still
I
see
can
your
still see
screen.
your screen.
Thank you so much. So, guys, first things first, I want to show us how to create a JavaScript file. So, you already have your HTML and whatever. You don't need to stress anymore. Just still in that same folder. Click on New File, and then when you click on New File, write, name it script.js. That's all you need to do. Script.js. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do much. Then I want you to also download. Let me type it. Node. Okay. Mr. Ari, please confirm that you can see the Node.js showing run JavaScript everywhere. Let me confirm.
Yes, I can
Yes,
see it.
I can see it.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, all I need for you to do is go on your Google Chrome. This is for everybody. Go on your Google Chrome and then type Node.js on your search bar, whatever browser you're using. And then when you're done, me, I cannot download again because I've already downloaded. I'm using Node.js already. So you that have not used it before, you need to download it and install because you start writing JavaScript code. So please, these are the things I require. These are the things I require for you to actually do so that you can start writing your JavaScript code. Now, just type Node.js in your browser on the search bar. Once you type Node.js, click on download and then install. That's all. Once you install, once you're done with that, you come back to your VS Code and then see these three dots up here. Click on it, open a terminal, click on the terminal, open a new terminal. Your terminal will show like this. So just a bit of moment ahead. So your path, your directory will show like this, and then type. Now this is to confirm to myself if Node has been installed. So this is what you will do to confirm if Node has been installed. I will still drop a video resource that will actually guide you in installing Node.js. So this is just to confirm. So you can see I typed node space minus v, and then it's showing that I have node installed, node version 23. You can also write anyhow you want to write, but make sure you write node space minus version, or you can write the version in full, any of them. So please, guys, I want you to do this first step before writing your JavaScript code. Before anything, this is the first thing you will do. Once you have confirmed that Node has been installed, then you come here and create your script.js file. Create your script.js file. That's all. Now, you don't need to do anything extra afterwards. Please, someone's mic is not muted. Please help me mute your mic when you join. Please, mute your mic. Now, I told us there are 3 ways. I showed us the 3 ways of creating a variable. So there are 3 ways of creating a variable. You already know what variable is at this point. Yes. So how should I go on to create a variable? We have the var keyword. The var keyword was mostly used years back when JavaScript has not JavaScript has not gone the modern pattern. So var keyword was only used. Now, with the advent of innovation every day, we went on to actually have the let keyword and the const keyword. So nowadays we use more of let and then const keyword. So the first one is called the var keyword. The var keyword. Now, you use this if you want to. It's your choice. It's it doesn't have any implications. You can use it. But the most best practices is that you use the let keyword. You use the let keyword. Now we have the let keyword and then we have the const keyword. Yes. So these are the 3 ways you can create a variable. Now, these are the 3 ways you can use to create a variable. Does not mean these are all variables. They are not variable. They are not variables still. They have data stored inside of them. So now let's try to store data individually inside of each of them. Let's start with the var keyword. I want to create a data about oceans, oceans. I can go on to create oceans and all of that. Now, first ocean, maybe ocean in Nigeria and all of that. Let's say, or rivers in rivers. I want to create a data of rivers in Nigeria. So I'll come here and write var space river1 equals to river Niger. I've stored the particular data, or I have created the first river. Maybe I'm giving an assignment to actually store data about 3 rivers in Nigeria. So I've stored the first one, river Niger. I will go on and I'll use the let keyword to create another river. So I put let. Which river should I use? Okay, River Benue. So this one I'll now write River Benue. So you can see I have created 2 variables. We have successfully created two variables using the var keyword number 1 and the let keyword number 2. The next one I will go on to do is create the third river, create the third variable rather, and store the third river inside of it. So I will go on and view const river 3 const river 3 equals to Bonny River. Bonny River. So Bonny River is a river. It's a water body found in Port Harcourt. At least these are mostly known. These rivers are mostly known. So successfully, I've been able to create 3 rivers. Sorry, I like to mistake them. Let me not mistake it. Just to digress, okay, I will address that later on. Okay, so I've been able to create 3 variables. 3 variables. And those 3 variables are the 3 rivers in Nigeria. And how was I able to do that? I used the keywords. The keywords var, let, and const. I've been able to actually create them. Distinctively, I believe that with this, we have clear understanding of how to create a variable, what a variable is, and then I believe I've been able to achieve or make you understand what a variable is, how to create a variable, and the 3 keywords used in creating a variable. Once you remove this keyword, then this is no longer a variable. Variables are used to store data. They are like container, I've told us before. So once you remove this let, once you remove this const, it is no longer a variable. It ceases to exist as a variable. Please note. Please note. Now, going forward, let's go back to since we have been able to achieve this aim, let's continue. Let's go back. Remember, download Node.js and install it before creating your script.js file for you to enable you write JavaScript code. Please don't forget, this class is recorded so you can also go back and see the name itself. Now, if you watch well, if you watch the data is stored inside of this variable I created, it was looking somehow. The question is, what is this data type called? What is this data type called? That is what we are about to find out. So let's continue. Now that we have learned what variables are all about, I want to learn what data types are all about. Now, in JavaScript, we have 2 types of data types. We have the primitive data type and the non-primitive data type. Just reserve all your questions. You start asking them shortly. Start asking them shortly. So whatever your question is, just gather them, and then I would attend to them one after the other. So we have what we call the primitive data type and the non-primitive data type. So if you're asked tomorrow, what are the data types in JavaScript? You have primitive data type and non-primitive data type. I will explain. Mr. Ari, please confirm that you can see my screen displaying JavaScript data types.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Now, what are primitive data types? Primitive data types are the most basic types that you can ever find in JavaScript. Very basic. They store single values that are immutable, cannot be changed after creation. Primitive data types, please let it sink inside of you. There are data types that are basic. There are data types that are stored as single values. They are immutable, which means they cannot be changed after you create them. If you create a data, you cannot change them again. Please. Now, we have examples of these primitive data types. They are string, number, boolean, null, undefined, and symbol and big int. I will explain all of them. Primitive data types are data types that you cannot change. They are stored as single values, and then they are immutable. You cannot change them after creation. Now we have the non-primitive data type. And what is the non-primitive data type? This data type can hold collection of values or store multiple complex entities. That's it. Think of primitive data type as a basket or a briefcase that stores only just one thing. Maybe you're carrying just, or look at it as a scenario where you have a bag. That particular bag can only carry your laptop, but it cannot carry anything else, whether book or pen or anything. No, it just carries only your laptop, and your laptop it is. You cannot add any other thing. Now, non-primitive data type can carry it's a bag that can carry your laptop, your book, your food, your whatever, multiple things. I believe we now understand. So if you're asked what the two data types are, you can explain vividly. Let me now explain each of them practically. Let me show you what. So the first primitive data type, which is here, let me go and check it, is called a string. Now, look at these three variables we created. You see these three of them, they are called string. And what is a string? A string is just a textual data. Any data that is in text, written in text, is called a string. Now, let me explain. So let's create a string. My name is called Timmy. So let's create a string. So I'll say let's name okay. We have successfully created a string. This data inside of here is called a string. Any textual data, any data that is written in text format is called a string. If tomorrow someone wakes you up, oh, what is a string? Just tell the person, any data type that is in text format is called a string. As simple as ABC. You don't need to crack your brain over anything. I'm taking my time to explain so that we understand every single bit. One thing about JavaScript is if you miss any part, it will affect you when you're doing the main work. So that's why I'm breaking every single part to bits that you can understand. Now, mind you, I created a variable here. What are variables? Variables are used to store data, right? Since we now know that variables are used to store data, now let us now know what are data types. In fact, what are data types, which is what we have started. Now we are starting with a string. A string is a data type found in JavaScript. Oh yeah, what is now that string? A string is a textual data or any data stored in text format, simple as ABC. What is this particular example is? It is called a string. I created a variable called name. The name of this variable is called name. And what did I store inside? I stored my name. My name is called what? Timmy. So you must actually know it so that it doesn't confuse you. Now, when creating a string, ensure that you put the text inside these double quotes you're seeing. What I mean is, look at this now. Merely looking at this, you've created a string, but this string does not have any data to it inside of it. It's like an empty classroom. Now, all you need to do is equals to, then put your double quotes. We all know how to type this. I believe we are all tech savvy. Now, inside of it, if you don't store anything inside, the variable has nothing inside. It is null. So to ensure that you store something inside, what do? You put Timmy. I will now write Timmy. Easy peasy. So currently, this variable has Timmy inside of it. Simple. Now, going forward, let's go over to the next one. This is called a string. Let me string. Now let's go back to the next one. The next one is numeric data type. I believe we'll all be conversant with that one. At least everybody knows what numbers are. So we have what we call the number data type. We have what we call the number data type or numeric data. Anyhow, but you know that it is a number. Either you call it a number data type or numeric data type, it is a type of data in JavaScript. Now, how do you now create a numeric data? Let's put maybe my age. Now I want to create a variable that has the data inside of it called age. I want to create a variable that is called age, and the age will store my data like my real age. So I put let age equals to 30. No. Sorry. Now, you can spot the difference. Once you're storing a numeric data, there is no use for that double quote. There is no use for that double quote you saw for it anymore. All you need to do is just type in the data type without using it. This is how it is used in numeric data. You don't use that double quote when you're creating a data type that has to do with numeric or numbers. Please take note. Now, the next data type I would share with us is called the Boolean. I'm looking for a perfect variable name. Um, okay. All right. Now, a boolean is used for true or false situations, scenarios, use cases. What do I mean? A boolean is a data type in JavaScript. A boolean is a data type in JavaScript, and its use is to actually check true or false use cases. What do I mean? If you're told to build a web application or an application, and that your application, children below, sorry, teenagers would actually make use of that app, and there are parts of the application you don't want most of them to interface with. What do? The Boolean data type is actually used that particular issue. So, for instance, have you used most applications and they ask you, are you above 18 years old? These are what these situations are what Booleans can actually solve. So if you're not more than 18, you won't be granted access into the application. If you're below, if yes, if you're not more than 18, you won't be granted. But if you're more than 18, you'll be granted access into the application. So Boolean is actually used to check scenarios, use cases that actually has to deal with true or false. There are also some situations where maybe a you've not paid a particular. Let's look at most applications that are paid and free. You know, you cannot access most features if you're not a pro user. If you did not pay for premium, it won't give you some parts of the application. So Boolean is used for such scenarios like that. Now, the next data type I want to share with us is called the null data type. And what does the null do? The null represents intentional absence of value. When there is no value stored in that variable, a null is used to actually signify intentionally there is no data type, there is no data inside of this variable. Now let's so a null is used to act. Oh, sorry. So you can see cannot redeclare block scoped variable. Cannot redeclare. So let's so one of the things I've been teaching us. So you can see that age has been declared before, and I'm I'm trying to redeclare it, and it's telling me no, cannot redeclare. So it's one of those things I've actually taught us, if you remember. But let's move forward. So I'll give this a different name. Let me give it let me just give it empty. That's for null. The next data type is called undefined. So you can see undefined, string, number, boolean, null. So the next one is called undefined. And what is undefined? Undefined is a variable that has been declared but not assigned. Undefined is a variable that has been declared but it has not been assigned. Let me just create a variable. This is an undefined variable. This is an undefined data type. So you just create a variable without storing any data inside of it. It is called an undefined data type. The next one, which I would be, is called symbol. Symbol. So you can come here, symbol, and then let's write an example. So you can write let's ID. equals to symbol so a symbol is actually used as a unique identifier. It's a unique identifier kind of data type. You would understand most of these data, the usage of all these data types when we are progressing. I know many persons are confused at this point. I don't even expect nothing less. I expected us to be confused because if we are not confused, then I'll probably think I'm not doing the right thing. So please don't get confused. It would get confusing, but the responsibility we have is to actually make ourselves understand. That's why you're called a front end developer. So please just brace up and then ensure to keep up. So let's move forward. Let's move forward. Moving forward, we have data type. We have the non-primitive data type. Now, I gave us a scenario where a bag that can only carry a laptop, and that bag that can only carry a laptop is called primitive data type. Now, the laptop that can carry multiple things, laptop, this one, and all of that is called non-primitive data types. Now, we are now here to know them. Those are objects and arrays. Objects and arrays. Let me write them. Types of non-primitive data types are objects, objects, and object is a type, so that we don't mix it. It's a type, and arrays is also a type. We also have function, but I don't want to go there so that I don't start causing confusion. So we'll be treating these two, and then we'll summarize for today, and I'll take in questions. So just pack up your questions. I'm coming. I will answer all of them during our interactive session. Now, objects. Now, objects, you want to store multiple data. You know, objects is used. Now, let's write an object. First things first, let's write an object. So this is an object. Okay, let me stop here. Let me not go further. Now, an object, just like I said, primitive data type is just a bag that can store one data type. For instance, look at all we've been doing up here. All of these data types are just carrying one data inside of them. Age is carrying just 30. If I put another number, comma, 30, 40, it will tell me no, to bounce me. This my name. I cannot carry Simi, then I do another double quote and put my surname or anything. It will bounce me. But I can do all of that with a what? Non-primitive data type. And what are those non-primitive types of data type? Arrays and objects. So look at the first one, which is called an object. Inside of this object, I'm able to store in my name, my age, and my state, where I come from, my state of origin. This is called a non-primitive data type. Now let me go on to actually let me teach us on arrays. So an array is actually a non-primitive data type. Let me go back to my slide. Sorry, just to confirm, Mr. Ari, please, can you hear me? Can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can hear
Yes,
you
I
and
can
see
hear
your
you and
screen.
see your screen.
Correct. So what is an array? An array in JavaScript is a type of global object used to store data. Arrays can store multiple values in a single variable, which can condense and organize your code or our code, anyone. An array in JavaScript is used to store multiple data. For instance, I gave a scenario of 2 bars. It is a non-primitive data type. You can use it, store as many data you want to store. Very easy. But primitive are just basic data type. Basic, string, boolean, undefined, null. Those are what? Primitive. You can't store multiple data. You can't do things the way you want to do them. Now, define an array. An array is in JavaScript is used to store multiple data. Let's say I have um, a car lot, a very massive place where I, you know, I have people coming to park cars, and I want to carry out a data, to be able to ascertain how many cars, how many persons came with a particular brand of car. Array is what I would use. So I can actually use an array, create a type of car. Maybe I can create uh, let's Toyota equals to, and I write, just be writing. So if I receive like 10,000 of Toyota cars coming, I can put the names there. Toyota this, Toyota Corolla, Toyota this and that. Same thing I do for Benz, Mercedes Benz, same thing I do, just like that. So, but I cannot do the same thing with primitive data type. I cannot achieve that aim with a primitive data type. Let's go on. Now, an array in JavaScript, just to go further, okay? Arrays are very useful as they store multiple values in a single variable, which can condense and organize our code, making it more readable and maintainable. Arrays can contain any data type, including numbers, strings, and objects. Going forward, okay, let me stop here. So, array is used to store in multiple data types. Same for objects. An object is a non-primitive data type that you can use to do as many things you choose to do. So you use them based on the demand of work you need to do. Now, let me create an array and then I go on to summarize, taking your questions. So this is how to create an array. In order not to give us information overload, I will. So let's say I want to have an array of colors. So I can just write let colors equals to, and to store in multiple colors here. So I can have red, comma. I can can have red, comma. I can have blue, comma. I can have yellow, comma. I can have, okay, let me not go further. But it can be endless. You can just be creating it on, and be going. So this is actually what an array looks like. Yes, these two are called non-primitive data types. While all of these up that I showed, or string, number, numeric data type, Boolean data type, null data type, undefined, they are called primitive data type. With all of these, with all I have said so far, JavaScript adds interactivity to our web pages. Let's, const and var are used to create our variable declaration. Knowing your data types, I have explained it over and over again. We have primitive data type and non-primitive data type. Objects and arrays are example of what? Non-primitive data type. JavaScript adds dynamic strength to your web page and keeps it live. All of these and many more we have been learning throughout today are the terms in JavaScript you use. All of these we are learning, these arrays, data types, and all of these are used to now create and give life to your website. We are now learning the tools. It's like you're a farmer, right? And then you want to learn how to use a hoe or shovel or wheelbarrow to carry your farm produce. So we are in the process of learning how to use the wheelbarrow to carry the farm produce out of the farm, or using the hoe to create holes to plant seeds. That's the process we are. Once we learn how to do that, then we'll begin farming. We'll begin planting as many crops we can, which is when we learn all these terms, we'll now start applying it to our website. We'll start creating beautiful functional websites. So every single steps matter. Every single thing you've learned, from the variable declaration to the data type to the array you've learned, and every single step, every single thing matter, because you would use all of them in creating that function you want to see on your web page. With these, let me take in questions. What are your questions? So we'll be taking it. If you have a question, all you need to do is just, so I mute my mic. Let me come back to our. All right. So if you have question, this is the time. Who has question? Who has? Mr. Rick, can you still hear me? Let me confirm
Yes,
that.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I have question.
One by one. Calm down. So let's go. Mudashiru, you go on. Then the next person. What's your question?
My question is, not that I'm taking us back. I saw when you are in your explanation now, I saw ID. And in CSS, we are using classes. We are using class. So I don't have make the search on those two words, but I could not get the difference between it. Because I understand during my research, they let us to know that ID is used particularly for JavaScript, while the class is used for CSS. So I've not understood the two words. That's my concern.
Okay. All right. See. How do I begin? Mudashiru, that ID, is it the ID and the symbol you saw there?
No, the ID. Yes, the ID I saw in the symbol. Yes.
Okay. when creating the ID was just a name I gave to the variable. It's nothing too deep. It's nothing. It's not one kind of thing there. It is just a name. I just choose the name ID. Sure you get. Yes.
No, I get it.
Next person.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Symbol.
You said
No.
you don't understand what the null data type is.
Yes, that's symbol.
Okay. So a null data type represents an intentional absence of value. Now, outside of JavaScript, Bukola, do you know what null means? If you ask somebody, is there anybody with you, and the person tells you null, what do you think the person is telling you?
No means anything.
Eh?
No, it means there is no.
There is nobody with you, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's just it. Null is an intentional pattern of saying nothing is inside this variable, but you state it there, null. Yes, null. So when you write your JavaScript code and you put null in a variable you're creating, it means absence of sorry, it's a data type, but you're saying no data is here or no data, nothing. Simple. Don't stress yourself over it. And when we come to symbol is like a unique identifier. I don't want to go too deep in giving a proper example of it. The reason is we'll get too confused. Now, as we go on, we'll see a scenario where I'll use a symbol data type. So, but for now, just hold that thought. Let me not go too further and then confuse us. Just have it in mind that symbol is a unique identifier. So don't stress yourself too deep about it. But in other terms, do you know what the symbol means?
Yes, I do.
So let it strike in your mind. Okay, symbol, but I don't know what it is used for now, but it's a data type. So just hold that thought. Who is next?
I have a question.
Okay, Lawrence, go on.
Part of the data type.
Hanson, I cannot hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
In the primitive data type, there is the last one that did not explain.
Okay. Hanson, I'm very confused. I don't understand your question. Hanson, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
What is your question? If you're using two devices, shift away from one so you can speak well now. It's echoing. I can't hear you well. I can't hear your question.
Can you hear me now, sir?
What is your question?
Okay. I said in the data type, primitive data type, there's the last one that did not explain. After the symbol, there's another one, the big int.
Oh, okay. Okay, so big int is actually large integers that are beyond normal number limit. I intentionally did not want to explain that. The reason is I don't want to. This is just an expository class, an introductory class. If I start diving into a lot of things, you might have confusion. So worry yourself with the ones you have been taught now. Then, as we progress, you start worrying yourself with what you'll be exposed to. So digest the one you've been told now. Thank you. Let me not go further. Who has questions again?
I have question.
Go on.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So
So
the
the
strange.
strange.
If we put
If we put
maybe
maybe
another value
another
except
value
from
except
test
from
inside the
inside the
in this thing,
in this thing,
Another value
will it
except
also
from
be
also
strange?
be
another value except from what? Samuel, I didn't hear that last part. Please help me repeat. Another value except from what?
Okay, sir. I
okay,
mean,
sir.
like
I mean,
if I
like
put
if I put
something like
something
apart
like
from
apart from
test
test
inside the
inside
double
the
quoted
double
and this
quoted
thing
and this thing
stored in
stored
the
in the
Something like
string
what?
gem this
strange
thing,
gem this thing,
Something like
like
what?
like
number
number
or
or
boolean,
boolean,
will it still
will
be
it still be
strange?
strange?
Yes. Yes. As long if you put number one inside that double quote, it's still a string. If you put two inside that double quote, as long as it's inside that double quote, anything that is inside that double quote, it is a string.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thanks,
sir.
sir.
Thanks, sir.
No problem. Who has questions?
I
Okay.
have a
C.
question.
Okay. Go on. Go on.
See, the
See, the
primitive data
primitive
can
data can
store just
store just
one
one
Who is
data
speaking? Who
inside
is
of them.
inside
speaking?
of them.
Next direction.
Next direction.
Who is speaking?
Mr. Ray.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay. Mr. Mr. Go on.
See, the
See,
primitive, we
the
can only
primitive, we can
use them
only
to
use them
save
to save
one data
one
inside.
data inside.
Mm-hmm.
So, if
So,
there's a case
if there's a
when
case when maybe for a string
and we've written the
and we've
first
written the
one,
first one,
then we go
then we
under
go
it
under
and
it
write
and write
another
another
string, would it
string, would it
also be applied?
also be applied?
I'm confused. So make me understand.
Like the
Like
example you
the
gave
example you
for
gave
string,
for
you
string,
said let
you said
name
let
Mm-hmm.
equals
name
your
equals
name.
your name.
After closing that one,
After closing that one, if you go
maybe
below
press
it, maybe
enter,
press
go
enter,
below it and
go
write
below it and
another
write
let
another
name
let
equal
name
a
equal
different
a
name.
different name.
Would it
Would it
still be
still be
applicable?
applicable?
You cannot store the same data now. It will not work.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
You get. You cannot store the same data. If you want to now store that same, maybe the same data, maybe you cannot use an array. Does it make sense now?
Yes, it does. It
Yes,
makes
it does.
sense.
It makes sense, sir.
No. Guys, attendance is now open. I want to plead with us to please go in and start signing the attendance. Now, regards to our assignments on the group, you guys want to create an opposition party, which would not work. I would fight with you people. I'm just joking. But most persons are asking, is it that I'm not graded or anything? Kehinde, good afternoon. Unmute your mic. Let's talk. Let us trash it out here.
Good afternoon,
Kehinde,
sir.
how are you doing?
I am fine, and you?
I'm good. Kehinde, now let us fight. What is the issue?
Okay,
You've been looking for this opportunity. Oh, yeah, let us fight. What is the issue?
I noticed that I wasn't graded. So out of the three assignments I was able to submit to, for my dashboard, I was sitting zero.
Are you serious?
Seriously.
It's because you're fighting me now. If I'm sleeping, I dey see Kehinde for my dream. So it's because you're fighting me. That's why you're getting zero. But
I've
then,
been seeing some messages on the third assignment because my system crashed. So I had to make use of my husband's system. So installing the Git and all of that was a lot of stress for me. So,
okay,
but
see what will
thanks
happen.
to Kennedy was there for me last month. It has been sorted anyway.
So actually, I've not scored anybody zero. Even if your work returns whatever, even if it does not return the output I want, or it returns a 404. 404 means an error page that does not show anything. That is not, I still give you some score to actually give you
No, I'm
for
referring to the
printing
HTML
your
assignment
effort.
because
So I want you to actually send me a DM. Send me a DM with three assignments so far. It's the
is
three
it that your
assignments.
number you sent to us on?
It's anyone you choose to just send it to me. If you send it to my number, fine. I think I would see it very quick.
I
So
sent you message on WhatsApp too.
Are
So
you
maybe I will
serious?
find.
Send me again. Tell me, send a hi and let me
Yes, I
see.
did.
How? Okay, send it again. Send it again.
Is it WhatsApp?
Yes, anyone you choose to. Now, when you send it, send the three assignments URL. Let me check your name.
Okay.
It's only this recent assignment I've not finished scoring. Unless maybe you submitted late though.
No,
Beyond
I
the
didn't
deadline.
submit late. I didn't
No
submit late.
That would be sorted out. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay.
So excuse me, sir.
Yeah, go on.
I was not able to meet up with the assignment deadline, but
What do you
on
want?
the
What do you want me to
dashboard
do?
here, it's still showing open.
What do you want me to do
Someone
now?
asked if I can submit.
No, you can't submit again. Wait till the next assignment. Steph, what's the issue?
Sir, please, I missed last class I was present, but I couldn't see the screen. So I didn't even get any notification on the app because yesterday I saw that
Is it
it
the
had been
Saturday class?
like
Is it that Saturday class?
yes.
I did another class on Thursday now to cover it up now. You weren't present. I
wasn't able.
Oh, I did. I even put out a notification that CEO on Wednesday. I put out a notification I'll be teaching on Thursday evening to cover up for that Saturday class and ask your peers. They were present. I did a class and they joined in. So
Okay,
if you check,
we can't submit again.
it's not on YouTube. Oh, it's on. I think the video is not uploaded on YouTube. It's just on the class group, general group assignment. Check, you see the group. I know you can't submit the assignment again. But what you do is to follow up for the next assignment that will be dropped next. Sorry about that. Daniel, what's the issue?
Okay, I have two pending issues. I have a question.
Oh.
Okay, the first one is about the assignment portal. You try to submit, it's telling deadline has been assignment has crossed.
Yeah, now you can't submit assignment again. Now it's gone. Wait till the next assignment.
Sir, but the deadline says it's 12.
Okay, so now let me explain, guys.
Okay.
Let me explain. Now, hold on and let me finish with Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I put out a deadline, for example, and tell you guys Saturday, for instance, the deadline triggers by 1 a.m. Saturday early morning, 1 a.m. That's when the deadline triggers. So whenever I say deadline on a particular day, know that it is 1 a.m. of that particular day. That's how it works. Forgive me that I did not enlighten you guys. So it is gone. That it is showing Saturday today does not mean that it is still open. It has closed since 1 a.m. some hours ago.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So the
Thank you.
next question I have is on my first assignment. I reach out to you to know what was wrong or right, because I can't explain how I felt getting list by HTML attacks and I get 7 over 10. I was surprised, sir.
You got what?
7/10.
Send it to me. Let me tell you what you did wrong.
Okay, let me share it now.
No problem.
Just a minute.
So to the next person, you can mute your mic, Daniel.
Okay.
Go up to sports. Let me hear from you.
So, my question is on 3 ways of creating